Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you, and in the next 30 minutes I'll be taking you through the biggest stories that have made news in the last 24 hours that you might have missed during the night, and also be telling you what to expect in the day ahead, starting with the headlines. Opposition a divided house as the support grows for BJP's presidential pick Ramnath Kovind. Opposition parties to meet today, likely to field Lok Sabha Speaker Meera Kumar as their nominee. Three LET militants killed in gun battle in Pulwama early morning. Encounter was on since last night. Multiple security forces involved in the encounter. Normal life continues to be crippled in Darjeeling as indefinite stir enters the 11th day. Protest marches held at various places in the hills. West Bengal government's all-party meet today to discuss prevailing situation. GJM opposition parties to skip. Jolted by loss to the Netherlands, India to face the Malaysian hurdles in quarterfinals of the Hockey World League semi-final today. India are placed second in Pool B. An Islamic State blows up landmark Mosul Mosque, site of declaration of its caliphate. Iraqi Prime Minister says it is official declaration of defeat by the militant crew. First up, news on presidential poll, and the NDA has garnered more support for its presidential candidate Ramnath Kovind, with AIADMK's Amma faction now announcing its backing to the nominee for the top constitutional post. The announcement came 2 days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi rang up Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Palaniswamy to seek his party's support. Earlier, the JDU also decided to support an NDA's presidential choice. Now, parties like Shiv Sena, the TDP, TRS, BJD, LJP have already extended their support for the candidature of Kovind. Bihar Chief Minister and JDU President Nitish Kumar praised Kovind's tenure as the Bihar governor. Union Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu also welcomed the decision of JDU to support NDA's presidential pick, saying it showed a wider acceptability of the candidate among the non-NDA parties. On the other hand, RJD Chief Lalu Prasad on Wednesday categorically stated that the party will go with the decision which would be taken by opposition party meeting which will be held by the Congress party in Delhi. Now, Congress President Sonia Gandhi has convened a meeting of opposition leaders today to discuss the upcoming presidential elections. The opposition is expected to decide their presidential candidate. Though Aam Aadmi Party has not been invited to the meeting, it will take a call on its stand after the opposition's deliberations. Now, Congress had said the decision by the BJP to choose Ramnath Kovind as NDA nominee for the presidential elections was taken unilaterally. Now, former Lok Sabha Speaker Meera Kumar is reportedly being considered as one of the candidates for president's post by the opposition. She met Congress President Sonia Gandhi on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Kovind on Wednesday met BJP veterans L.K. Advani as well as Murli Manohar Joshi. He is also scheduled to meet ailing former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee today. Big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where 3 local Lashkar-e-Toiba militants were gunned down by the security forces in the early hours today in Kakapora area in Pulwama district in South Kashmir. The encounter between the militants and the forces began at around 6 p.m. last evening. This after the forces launched a cordon and search operation based on information that there were militants hiding in the area. The security forces came under heavy automatic gunfire from the hiding militants. The fire was returned, sparkling the gunfight. However, a mob pelted stones at the security forces to distract them from the operation. The Special Operation Group and 183 CRPF Battalion, along with 50 Rashtriya Rifles, were involved in the encounter. The encounter comes hours after the security forces earlier neutralized 2 militants in Sopore area yesterday. Meanwhile, the army also foiled an infiltration attempt by Pakistan-based terrorists on the line of control in Palanwala sector yesterday. The infiltrators ran back, leaving behind war-like stores of arms and ammunition. The situation in Darjeeling continues to remain grim with the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha's indefinite shutdown continuing. Now, protest marches were held yesterday. Normal life remained crippled. The internet services were also suspended, with the security forces maintaining a tight vigil. Except for pharmacies, all the other shops, hotels and restaurants remained closed. Now, an all-party meet has been called by the West Bengal government to discuss the prevailing situation in the hills. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, however, will not attend as she is in the Netherlands. Now, Congress and the CPM have announced to boycott the all-party meeting in the absence of Banerjee. Gorkha Janmukti Morcha also has given a 12-hour window to various schools in Darjeeling Hills to evacuate the students. The students will be allowed to go to Siliguri and Rangpo only in school buses. A delegation of Gorkha Janmukti Morcha met Union Minister Kiran Rijiju and also earlier submitted a 2-point memorandum demanding a separate state of Gorkha land. This was the demand for a separate Gorkha land, and the second was the immediate start of the process at the central level for fulfilling the demand.
It's on the close watch.
Is there any new forces are coming?
Regarding forces, we don't make any comment right now.
परिस्थिति ऐसा है, कामकाज नहीं है, राशन पानी का बहुत समस्या, खाने पीने का, मट्टी का तेल नहीं मिलता है, क्या चीज से बनाएंगे हम लोग, क्या चीज से खाएंगे, भूखे कितना दिन रहेगा आदमी, इस मजबूरी की वजह से जाना पड़ रहा है अभी.
On to some other news, Rajiv Gauba will be the new Union Home Secretary from 31st of August this year. Present Home Secretary Rajiv Mehrishi completes his term on 30th of August. Now, Gauba, a 1982 batch IAS officer of the Jharkhand cadre, was the Urban Development Secretary. Gauba has served in the Home Ministry as a joint and additional secretary, where he looked after the crucial Naxal division. Now, besides him, 16 new secretaries have been appointed to various central government departments as part of a major top-level bureaucratic reshuffle effected on Wednesday. Now, Subhash C. Garg will be the new Economic Affairs Secretary, replacing Shakti Kanta Das, who retired last month. Garg is a Rajasthan cadre IAS officer of the 1983 batch and is presently posted at the World Bank as an executive director. Now, in an effort to tackle bad loan crisis, the Securities and Exchange Board of India, or Sebi, on Wednesday eased its takeover norms for restructuring listed companies with stressed assets. The relaxation would exempt investors from making a mandatory open offer, subject to shareholders' nod and some other conditions. The Sebi also eased the norms for resolution plans approved under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. The decision comes against the backdrop of the government and the RBI stepping up efforts to tackle the menace of bad loans amounting to more than 8 lakh crore rupees. Now, Sebi's board also approved a proposal to tighten rules for participatory notes through imposition of a regulatory fee and banning the sale of certain products. But the Sebi chief said that there was no proposal to completely ban P notes, as they would be useful for new foreign investors.
ODIs issued by FPIs, they have been further actually tightened, and there was also a discussion paper which was put in public domain last month. In line with that, what has been decided is that ODIs fees will be charged from FPIs issuing ODIs, that is one. And in ODIs, they can only issue against, for derivatives, they can only issue if they have underlying interest. So this has been done to tighten the FPI regulations on ODI.
And Finance Minister Arun Jaitly on Wednesday reached Moscow on a 3-day visit. On the first day of his visit, he co-chaired the first meeting of the India-Russia High-Level Committee on Science and Technology with the Deputy Prime Minister of Russia, Dmitry Rogozin. India and Russia have identified a number of key areas to bolster cooperation in the science and technology sector, including space and marine technologies, IT and deep ocean engineering. Now, describing Russia as a partner of choice for India in high technology sector, Jaitly said that the new mechanism will further energize the bilateral partnership, as it will help in opening up advanced areas of cooperation which will benefit the future generations. On 23rd of June, that is tomorrow, Arun Jaitly will co-chair the 17th meeting of the India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission on Military Technical Cooperation, with his Russian counterpart, General Sergei Shoigu. Jaitly's visit to Moscow comes nearly 3 weeks after Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin decided to upgrade and intensify defense ties through joint manufacture and co-production of military hardware during their annual summit-level talks at St. Petersburg. The government has permitted banks and post offices to deposit scrapped 500 and 1,000 rupee notes with the Reserve Bank by 20th of July this year. Now, this is the second window that the government has provided to the banks, post offices and cooperative banks to deposit the junked notes.
The government on Wednesday issued a notification to allow banks and post offices to deposit demonetized currency notes with the Reserve Bank of India within 30 days. The banks have been asked to cite valid reasons for not depositing the notes within the stipulated period so far.
मैं इसको एक वेलकम मूव समझता हूं, क्योंकि अगर जेन्युइन अमाउंट जो दिसंबर के पहले रखा गया था वो डिपॉजिट नहीं हो पाया है, तो करने में मुझे नहीं लगता किसी तरह कोई आपत्ति होनी चाहिए। और दूसरी बात क्या है कि देखिए, इसका मिसयूज अगर पहले कभी किसी जगह पर हुआ है तो आज तो सिस्टम बहुत ही इम्प्रूव हो चुका है। और सबसे बड़ी बात आप ये देखिए कि बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में उनकी प्रॉपर एंट्रीज हैं।
Till November 8, 2016, the total amount of currency in circulation was 17.7 lakh crore rupees. This included the 500 rupees and 1,000 rupees currency denominations. The last official count released by the RBI on December 13th stated that banks had collected 12.44 lakh crore rupees in banned notes till December 10th. On various occasions, Finance Minister Arun Jaitely clarified that the RBI will give an accurate figure of returned defunct notes once the counting process is over. Old 500 rupees and 1,000 rupees notes were discontinued from November 8, 2016 in order to eliminate black money and curb circulation of fake Indian currency notes. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, yoga's health benefits are well known all over the world, and now it is fast emerging as a popular source of employment as well. Even as more and more people are taking up teaching yoga as a profession, India still faces a shortage of about 3 lakh yoga instructors against the requirement of over 5 lakh. Here is the report.
पिछले 3 वर्ष में बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में योगा के टीचरों की मांग बढ़ी है। योगा की ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स में भी नौजवान योगा को एक प्रोफेशन के रूप में स्वीकार करते हुए अपने आप को तैयार कर रहे हैं।
The increased focus on yoga by Prime Minister Narendra Modi appears to have improved job opportunities in the sector. Yoga is increasingly becoming the new currency for fitness and employment. Industry Chamber ASSOCHAM points out that the current demand for yoga instructors in India stands at about 5 lakhs.
Primarily, if the decision is to introduce yoga at the school and the college level, apart from the national sector, corporate sector, one realizes that there is a dire shortage of real good yoga instructors.
The big push by the government has increased job prospects of those who have graduated in yoga as a subject. And increased awareness towards wellness and health-related activities has also helped. Even smaller towns are seeing a big surge in enrollments in yoga classes. About 14.3 million people in India practiced yoga in 2013, up from 6.3 million in 2001. The popularity of yoga amongst celebrities makes it even a more lucrative profession. The fees vary from 400 rupees to 1500 rupees per hour depending upon the policy of the institution and the experience of the instructor.
नवयुवक अगर इस योग का अगर अभ्यास करें और इसकी प्रशिक्षण लें और इस कला को अगर वो अपने सीख लें तो बहुत लोगों को वो सिखाने का और अपनी भी आजीविका उपार्जन करने का एक बहुत बड़ा सुगम और सरल और सहज उपाय हो सकता है, माध्यम हो सकता है.
India's yogic culture has spread worldwide since Swami Vivekananda took it to the world in Chicago in 1893. And after Prime Minister Narendra Modi proposed the idea, the UN General Assembly adopted an India-led resolution declaring June 21st as International Day of Yoga. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's get you some more news from across the country in Nationwide. Government on Wednesday asked Air India and Jet Airways to operate additional temporary flights to Doha. This is to meet the massive demand ahead of Eid due to a ban on Qatar carriers by some Middle East nations. In a series of tweets, Civil Aviation Minister Ashok Gajapati Raju said that he and External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj are in touch over the issue. RJD Chief Lalu Prasad's daughter Meesa Bharti appeared before the Income Tax Department on Wednesday in connection with the over 1,000 crore rupees Benami property deals. As per the reports, Bharti was grilled for over 4 hours and was confronted with few documents seized by the department in the case. The 300-kilometer-long Jammu-Srinagar National Highway was closed for traffic after rains triggered landslides in the Udhampur district of Jammu and Kashmir on Wednesday. There was a landslide and mudslide on the highway, which was cleared after a few hours of closure by the Border Roads Organisation. Two women Naxalites were gunned down in an encounter on Wednesday in Abu Jumar area of Chhattisgarh's Narayanpur district. The encounter was carried out by the joint team of the Special Task Force and the District Reserve Guard. The armed forces also recovered two 315-bore guns, some explosives from them, also Maoist uniforms, their literatures and several items were also seized. As per the reports, the encounter between the two lasted for an hour. As per a United Nations report, India's population could surpass that of China's by 2024, 2 years later than previously estimated. It is expected to touch 1.5 billion in 2030. The UN report says that currently China with 1.41 billion inhabitants and India with 1.34 billion retain the most populous countries. In Breakfast News, time for a very short break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
What is BJP without Narendra Modi?
Modi ji is not separate from BJP.
There is an effort to homogenize the society into a Hindutva society based on the hatred for Muslims.
We have not imposed anything on the people. So our track record is the answer.
For the current government, Kashmir is only about Pakistan and terrorism.
People sitting in Delhi studios should understand that Kashmir is not a political issue.
Watch to the point with National General Secretary of BJP, Ram Madhav, only on Rajya Sabha television. Taking its name from the abundance of semal or red silk cotton trees that bloom vividly here, the Simlipal National Park is home to 3 of India's biggest animal species: tiger, Asiatic elephant and gaur. Spread over a sprawling area of 2,750 square kilometers, set on a wide expanse of sal forest, this park is nestled in the very center of Mayurbhanj in Odisha. It is one of the most breathtaking nature reserves in India, with forests, grassy meadows and some beautiful waterfalls like Joranda and Badehipani. It is also home to an astounding 1,078 species of plants, including 94 species of orchids.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back. A big story coming in from Iraq, where the Islamic State militant group has blown up the great mosque of Al-Nouri in Mosul. Now, aerial photographs show that the mosque and the minaret has largely been destroyed. It is noteworthy that the mosque is an ancient landmark where Islamic State leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi proclaimed a caliphate in 2014. However, Islamic State claims that the US aircrafts destroyed the complex. Now, Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi said that the blowing up of the mosque was an official declaration of defeat by Islamic State. US military said that IS had destroyed one of Mosul and Iraq's great treasures. The development comes as Iraqi forces march on in their offensive to retake the city of Mosul, an offensive which was launched in October last year. The UN says the militant group may be holding more than 1 lakh people in Mosul as human shields, while Iraqi government announced the full liberation of eastern Mosul in January this year. The west of the city has presented a more difficult challenge. And security in Brussels is at a high alert since an attack was aborted on Tuesday. Although no one was hurt, Belgian Prime Minister Charles Michel said that the explosion could have caused many casualties. A 36-year-old Moroccan citizen was named as the suspected bomber by a counter-terrorism prosecutor.
Belgian authorities identified a 36-year-old Moroccan as the man behind a failed bombing at the Brussels Central Railway Station on Wednesday. The man, whose initials were revealed as OZ, had no history of involvement of being in terrorism. According to authorities, the man entered the station and set off a partial explosion in a suitcase that contained nails and gas bottles. He then rushed at a soldier patrolling the station with slogans. The soldier opened fire, hitting the man several times before killing him.
The suitcase immediately caught fire. The man has left his luggage burning and went down to the platform in pursuit of a station master. Meanwhile, the bag exploded a second time more violently. This bag contained nails and small gas bottles. The man then returned to the hall when he rushed to a soldier while shouting Allahu Akbar. The soldier immediately opened fire and hit the individual several times. The latter died on the spot as a result of his injuries.
There were no other casualties apart from the suspect. Brussels railway station and the nearby Grand Place Square, a major tourist destination, were immediately evacuated after the incident.
Quand moi je suis redescendu pour rejoindre le quai, là avec un homme qui criait, et il parlait des djihadistes et tout ça, et puis à un moment donné il a crié Allahu Akbar et il a fait exploser la petite valise qu'il avait à côté de lui.
Authorities treated the incident as a terrorist attack. Belgian Prime Minister Charles Michel confirmed that a national security alert is being maintained at its second highest level.
Vous communiquez que hier soir, un attentat terroriste a été évité à la gare centrale. Un individu a tenté de déclencher une explosion. Les militaires présents ont pu neutraliser cet individu.
Belgium has been on high alert since March 2016 after 32 people were killed in attacks in Brussels that were claimed by the Islamic State group. The incident in Belgium comes a day after a radical Islamist on a terror watch list rammed a car loaded with weapons and gas into a police vehicle in Paris. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And let's get you some more news from across the globe in World Wrap. Colombia and France signed a bilateral cooperation agreement at the start of Colombian president's 3-day visit to France. French President Emmanuel Macron said that France was willing to support Colombia in battle for peace with support for projects to consolidate peace and security. Romania's ruling leftists overwhelmingly voted to oust Prime Minister Sorin Grindeau's 6-month-old government. Lawmakers voted 241-7 against Grindeau. A week after ruling, a Social Democrat Party and a coalition partner withdrew their support, accusing him of failing to roll out a range of programs. The PSD and its junior coalition partner ALDE are expected to nominate a replacement now for Grindeau later in the week. The United States pressed China to exert more diplomatic pressure to help rein in North Korea's nuclear and missile programs. During a high-level talks in Washington, US officials urged China to work with the US and others to crack down on illicit North Korean activities. The US also asked China to prevent their companies from doing business with sanctioned North Korean entities. The United States, Brazil and 10 other members of the 34-nation Organization of American States made a last-minute push for a declaration on Venezuela's socialist leadership for its handling of a political and economic crisis. Earlier this week, governments from across the America issued a letter accusing Venezuela of undermining democracy, failing to feed its people and violating rights, but the resolution failed to get through. On to some sports news now, and India will take on Malaysia in the quarterfinals of the World Hockey League semi-final in London today. India finished second in their group behind the Netherlands. The men in blue won their first 3 group games comfortably, scoring 14 goals in total, but they lost to the Netherlands 1-3 in their final group game. Malaysia, on the other hand, finished third in their group. India will look to push for the win as the top 4 finish in the tournament will guarantee them a place in the Hockey World League final to be held in Bhubaneswar in December this year. In the other quarterfinals of the day, reigning Olympic champions Argentina will play Pakistan, the Netherlands will take on China, and hosts England will square off against Canada. And the BCCI will invite more applications for the post of Indian team's coach to give the Cricket Advisory Committee a range of options. The decision came a day after Anil Kumble resigned as the coach of the Indian cricket team. While refusing extension of his contract till the West Indies tour, Kumble cited Captain Virat Kohli's reservation over his style of functioning. Now, BCCI's acting president C.K. Khanna said that General Manager M.V. Sridhar will supervise the team during the Caribbean tour. The BCCI has also decided to give 7 days for applicants to send in their resumes. When BCCI had last advertised the post, the last date to send the applications was 31st of May. As of now, Virendra Sehwag, Tom Moody, Lalchand Rajput, Richard Pibas and Doda Ganesh are the only applicants.
Indian team has proceeded to West Indies with the interim arrangement, and Dr. M.V. Sridhar, he will look after the arrangements, and Mr. Sanjay Bangar is the batting coach and R. Sridhar the fielding coach. They will assist the Indian team, and I am confident that team will do well. And as well as the appointment of new head coach, Cricket Advisory Committee members, they are in constant touch with each other. As soon as they recommend, BCCI will take the call.
And news from the world of badminton, where Indian shuttlers made a good start at the Australian Open Super Series badminton on Wednesday as Saina Nehwal, PV Sindhu, K. Srikanth and B. Sai Praneeth progressed to their respective second rounds. Now, Srikanth, who won the Indonesia Open Super Series premiere on Sunday, continued his good form by defeating Chinese Taipei's Kan Chao Yu 21-13, 21-16 in the men's singles opening round, while Sai Praneeth had a hard-fought 10-21, 21-12, 21-10 win over Indonesia's Tommy Sugiarto. Srikanth will next play Son Van Ho of South Korea, while Sai Praneeth will be up against Huang Shuyang of China. Meanwhile, in the women's singles, Saina defeated Sung Ji-hyung of South Korea in straight games, winning 21-10, 21-16. PV Sindhu also advanced after a tough match against Japan's Sayata Sato, in which she won in straight sets. However, H.S. Pranoy, Ajay Jairam, Arupali Kashyap and Cyril Verma lost their opening round matches. That's it from me and my team in this edition of news. Thanks for watching.